Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to a brand new installment in our Blazeborn survival series. Like we said in last week's episode, after, redecorating and adding some nice decor to the area that we are currently seeking to survive and thrive in, we are in need of hunting down a fortress because that's going to be our next step. We really just need to make sure that we can get some blaze powder. It looks like the zombified piglins have calmed down since we were last interacting with them, which is good because that was going to be a very serious hindrance to our progress. So we're going to see if we can set out and find a Nether Fortress in today's episode. Now, because of where we're currently located, we're not going to have a fortress anywhere near us, and the reason being is, there's multiple bastions right here incredibly close to spawn, and that just does not bode well for finding a Nether Fortress. Oh, that Strider over there actually has a saddle on him. I'd like to get over there if I can before he despawns, because that'll actually make this task a lot easier for us if we can get over. Or there's one right down here that also has a saddle, so we don't have to trek quite that far over. Trouble is, lava doesn't break one's fall, but you can ride down it if you are Blazeborn because of how you're immune to the burning effect that takes place. So we can circumvent that by making our way down this new freshly poured column of lava. And then with our little warped fungus on a stick here, we can board this Strider and we can take off in search of our Nether Fortress, which will be excellent. The one thing that we may need to stop for as we are walking around is we may need to look and see if we can get some additional food. Because right now I've got the 2 bowls of mushroom stew that you currently see in my hotbar, as well as we have a couple of pork chops in our inventory, but not very many by any means. Now, we can make this Strider walk a little bit faster if we right-click on our fishing rod. The reason I may want to refrain from doing so is that does consume some of the durability on it, which is certainly not what we would like to have happen. We'd like to have that around for as long as we possibly can. But let's see if we can locate ourselves a fortress and continue on in our endeavors here. I think this is the ruined portal that I had explored a little bit earlier in one of our installments. So I'll just double check that briefly before we continue on here. And yes, it is, because there's nothing in that. Let's see if this piglin brute is dumb enough to just run into the lava. I don't think he will be. Yeah, no, they're not dumb enough to do that, which is mildly inconvenient. But we've got our lava bucket recharged here, and that will be good for us if we do happen to get into a fight with a non-fireproof mob such as a piglin or a piglin brute. Okay, I don't know how well this is going to go over for us. Look, bud, I need you to be over this way, but let's hit. Okay, so I can collect up these mushrooms, which is good because the red mushrooms are the ones that I'm actually a bit lower on. And now we can make ourselves some additional mushroom stew, which will be good. Looks like there's one more over here if we can get over to that. So as long as we keep our distance from this ghast, I don't think we have to worry about him hitting our strider. So we'll just kind of give him a wide berth as we make our way around. Especially since he shoots at your immediate location, he doesn't compensate for any movement that you may be doing. Because collecting a little bit more food is always a good idea. And look at that! We were just lucky enough to find ourselves a fortress not too far away from where we're at. So let's quickly make our way over to this pillar. And then we can box in our strider to assure that he doesn't go anywhere on us. Okay. He might be able to get up on top of this block. But as long as he doesn't do anything drastic, he's not going to go anywhere. So let's jump up on here ourselves. And then, because we've got the blocks for it, and we're likely to find some other goods, we'll just tower up directly here. And then we can cut our way back down as we need to. There we are. Terrible Fortress achievement obtained. And we've got a fair selection of other goods here for us that we can use to clean ourselves back up. Let's see if we can bait this guy a bit closer. And a stone sword. It's not the greatest, but if we absolutely had to use it in a pinch, it would certainly work for us. I was just about to say this Nether Fortress is kind of underwhelming, but it does continue back further this way. Yeah, so that thing that I said about this Nether Fortress being underwhelming, I'm actually going to go back to that, because this hallway didn't do anything noteworthy in the least bit. So, unfortunately, not the greatest Nether Fortress I've ever encountered. Certainly not from a functionality standpoint. It would have been nice to have had access to like some lower levels of the fortress to get some Nether Wart and other things. I think we can still get some Nether Wart, mainly from some of the bastions that we've passed by. I know I've seen the Nether Wart down there, but I didn't really want to mess around with trying to collect that. So we'll have to double back to one of those and actually get some Nether Wart. You know, it kind of feels wrong to do this to what the lore of this paints out to be kind of my kindred spirits. But you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, I suppose. Just need one more, and there's 2 more blazes down this way, so we should be able to get those just fine. Yep, there's one, and we'll just hit this other guy for good measure. Nothing off of that guy, but we don't need to stick around here any longer unless I find one of those wither skeletons that I heard rattling around. Then we might take him out and see if we can get lucky and grab a wither skull. But I don't foresee that as being the case, so let's make our way down the way that we came up. Technically, I could drop down on that strider and see if I can quick mount him, but because I put some blocks down to get out of there, I don't think that that's in my best interest, so we'll just do the safe route back down to the bottom. Okay, was this the bastion over here that has the Nether Wart that I'm after? I actually think it was, if I caught a glimpse of that just right. Yep, there it is. So let's run in and grab that as discreetly and safely as we can. Okay, that was excellent, because I can get out. He can't get out without my help. He's nice and warm. So let's run in and see if we can get some of this Nether Wart. And I do have the inventory space for it. There we go. You didn't hit my little enclosure, so we're good on that front. He's going to sink down to the bottom there and burn up. I didn't realize that once they start taking damage, they just decide that they're all in. Because I'd really like to see if I can figure out what's in this chest, but I want to do it in a way where I'm not going to have to worry about aggravating anything. So priority number 1 is grab the Nether Wart that's right here, because they're not going to freak out about that. There's some gold right there that I'd like to grab if I can. Just play things incredibly safe. And then we'll get in here and grab what we can. Let's dump some of these off to our buddy down here in the pit. We'll come back and see what he's done in just a moment. But for now, let's answer some questions. Let's put this gilded blackstone away. We don't have a need for that. Let's take 2 of these and turn them into blaze powder to throw in our... No, it's not blaze powder. It's actual rods. But let's throw these guys in here. We'll smelt them up with more rods as we need to. And the real answer to the question that we need is let's grab 3 stone and see if combining it with a rod makes a brewing stand. It does, which is great, because that was what we would need to make some potions of strength. I think we've got soul sand. Let's line the back wall with that sand. Plant down some warts, and they will grow at their own pace and give us a replenishing supply as needed. Let's grab some of these water. And let's grab 2 of these powders, because we're going to need to put a blaze powder here and another wart there to brew up the initial round of potions. And then once he's got the awkward potion there, we can then put this blaze powder in here to get potions of strength. And unfortunately, I don't currently have access to any redstone, or we could extend the duration of these strength potions. But I do have glowstone powder, or I could get glowstone powder, which I could then use to amplify the effects. But I think 3 minutes is kind of going to be what we want for an Ender Dragon fight, rather than the 1 minute and 30 seconds of strength 2 that we could get. Maybe I'll brew up 1 batch of double strength, but we'll just kind of have to see. And let's end today's episode off by putting in another portal and seeing where it leads us to in our overworld, because we have yet to see what our overworld looks like. Let's put it right here. So we'll dig out these areas. I'm just really hoping it doesn't put me out in the middle of the ocean, because if it does, we're going to be in some serious trouble, because I am not... I'm going to take damage if I'm out in the ocean, which is certainly not what I want to see. And I'm just conforming this portal to the size of this natural opening that was here. And then we'll knock out the last 3 and get 3 more. Now, I don't know if I just take damage in water or if I take damage in the rain as well. So we'll have to be on the lookout for that. But let's make our way through. And it looks like we're on the edge of an ocean, but we are not in the actual ocean. So that is a positive. And we can actually take advantage of grabbing some of our, or getting some additional food while we're out here. I was browsing around quickly just to see if there was any iron out here. It doesn't appear that there is. So that's unfortunate, but we will have to see if we can find... Well, we might be able to do fine without it. But let's head back into our safe place inside the Nether. And then just to add some additional accenting to our portal area here, let's just scatter in a little bit of this crying obsidian since we've got so much of it. And I think that that'll add a little bit of some personality to this zone. Let's actually put one final piece right here and right there. There we are. Now it feels like it makes a better transition into this type of area. But that's going to be where we finish things off for today. In our next episode, I anticipate actively seeking out the end portal and finishing this off. Again, it's going to be a lot shorter than a lot of the other series that will be taking place in this survival world, or this Origins survival series. But let me know what you think of it down in the comments below, and be sure to leave a like on today's video if you enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.